The panic over Trump's trade policy returns. Oh my goodness, Trump is going to incorporate all these tariffs. It's going to be horrible, massive inflation. We're going to go into that a little bit because it's so freaking stupid. It really is. It's dumb. But we wouldn't panic about that if we didn't think Trump was going to win. The momentum is certainly on Trump's side. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Look, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, it's over, dude. And right now we have a tie in the and here's Emerson, but we got a tie in the real clear politics Pennsylvania averages right here. And we see Trump's up by 3 in Trafalgar. Trump's tied in Fox. Trump's tied in Emerson. Trump's up by 3 by Atlas. I don't know what that is. Even Cook, which is pretty, whatever. But they got Harris up by 1. Bloomberg's got Harris up by 5. Yeah, whatever. So, and we know, in this day in histoire, Biden was up by 6.5, and I think he won Pennsylvania by 4, if memory serves. Hillary was up 5.4, and she obviously lost Pennsylvania. So the polls are biased in favor of the Democrats. Now, will they continue to be? I don't know. In fact, there is a word I have that they've made it less biased towards the Democrats. But anyway, if he wins Pennsylvania, it's over, dude. And we look at Michigan. I think the last one had Trump up in Michigan here. Let's take a look. Yeah, so even Harris on the average is up only 0.7 in Michigan. We got, 3 of the last 4 polls had Trump up in Michigan. This Michigan, if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he's winning Michigan. Well, I can't say that for sure. We don't know. But if he wins any of these states, he's winning. Pennsylvania's it. So let's see if we got Wisconsin on here. I don't think Wisconsin's that favorable for Trump, which is weird. Even Harris is up 0.8 there. So we got this Atlas Intel. I don't know what those guys are. Trafalgar is kind of a right-wing poll. And then we got New York Times. Even that only has Harris up by 2. All right. And again, what happened in 2024? They had Wisconsin by 6 for Sniffy Joe, Clinton by 5.5. Who knows, man? Who knows? But at the end of the day, Trump is gaining momentum. That's just a fact. So, here's Emerson again. Even Rasmussen's got Wisconsin tied. So it's, a favorable polling firm towards Trump. And here's right here, the Hill with Trump. So, anyway, so Trump's taking charge, man. That's just a fact. Now, so let's go to right here. This is from Breitbart, and I'm not the biggest fan of Breitbart anymore. I don't like their very pro-Israel policies writing. I just and then saying, there's a couple guys in Breitbart I love, but if just because you challenge the U.S. is just the Israel decision to go with what they're doing, that doesn't make you like anti-Israel. And I don't like that accusation. It's like that's a leftist tactic. You don't like Jesse Jackson, you're a racist. And I don't like that. And the right shouldn't be doing that either. So to say just because I don't like what Israel's doing doesn't make you anti-Israel or even worse, anti-Semitic. It's just stupid. And there seems to be some of that Breitbart, and I don't like. And even the Babylon Bee too. It's just so frustrating. This is left-wing stuff. But very interesting. So we got right here, Donald Trump's recent tariff proposals, 60% on Chinese goods have set off the all familiar panic among the trade globalists. Yep. In the fevered imaginations of Trump's policies, tariffs threaten to bring global trade to its knees, provide retaliatory measures, and hit consumers with higher prices. The ghost of Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in 1930 looms large, ready to serve as the ultimate cautionary tale. This narrative deserves a complete rejection and is essential to confront the realities behind these unfounded claims. So remember, Smoot-Hawley, 1930. So let's take a look. We're going by man Daniel Kuhlbert's 55e.co, and let's go to look and see. We're going to go back to 1920s or so. We'll start here. All right, so Smoot-Hawley restricted trade or had limitations on trade, tariffs, whatnot. And let's just take a gander, shall we, about what happened with inflation after Smoot-Hawley took off. So let's just take, remember, it was passed in 1930. And we're going to go to 1930, it was passed. And we have inflation, negative. Whoa, what? Inflation was down 2.3. Well, that was because it was only passed in July of 1930. Well, the very next year was down 9%. We had deflation. The very next year we had deflation of 5.1. So look at that. So after Smoot-Hawley was passed, look at that. Smoot-Hawley was passed in July of 1930. We had deflation in 1930, deflation in 1931 by 9%, almost 10% deflation in 1932, and another 5% deflation in 1933. All right, so then we had 3% inflation, 2.2, 1.5, 3.6, and then a couple more deflationary years. So the idea that Smoot-Hawley leads to higher prices is simply did not, or trade restrictions lead to higher prices. How do you explain that? Well, it was a Great Depression. I thought you just said that trade restrictions lead to higher prices. Well, it does in economics textbooks, but it didn't. We had massive deflation like we have never seen ever. Well, in fact, I wonder if it even was worse in the 80s. Let's take a look. Is that the worst deflation we've ever had? Let's go back to 1871. Yeah, right here, 1873. Yeah, look at that. It was worse in the Great Depression, but that was quite bad. I think 1891 as well. A little bit of deflation. Yeah, so we've had some deflationary times there for sure, but nothing like the Great Depression. This is pretty bad. 1871 to 1875. I mean 1878. Pretty significant deflation. But then we had the Great Depression, which is even worse than that, and that was with the Smoot-Hawley tariffs. Now I say, but Josh, don't you know if they put trade tariffs on, other countries are going to do the same. They're going to retaliate. That's what caused the Great Depression. It wasn't what caused the Great Depression. The Great Depression is well underway. Just read a freaking book on, not you guys, because you guys are smart, on this stuff. There's plenty of evidence the Great Depression was caused well before that, man. It wasn't just a stock market crash. I've done videos on this, the cause of the Great Depression. Even Milton Friedman, and I like Milton Friedman. I got a signed book from Milton. I'm a big fan, long time. But I think he's wrong on the idea of the federal spending. But his point was the reason the Great Depression wasn't because Smoot-Hawley, was because of restriction of the monetary supply. The Fed did not expand monetary supply when they should have. They decreased the monetary supply, and that led to deflation. But Smoot-Hawley, Smoot, what the hell is it now? I'm drawing a blank. What the hell is this? Smoot-Hawley. Getting old, dude. Smoot-Hawley, that's going to increase prices, but it didn't. Well, it didn't increase prices because of reduced trade. So you want it both ways. So the reason we had a Great Depression was because Smoot-Hawley decreased global trade. But you also want to say Smoot-Hawley, tariffs and whatnot will increase prices. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, you can't have it both ways. You just can't. And then they'll say, I love this part right here too. Tariffs, a bogeyman of economics. Yep. In fact, we got an interesting one. I didn't even know this. A study conducted in 2018 during the U.S.-China trade dispute by the NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research, found that many companies absorbed the cost of tariffs rather than passing them on to consumers. In competitive industries where profit margins are already thin, firms often prefer to absorb costs rather than risk losing market share. When faced with higher prices, consumers will then look for alternatives, further incentivizing corporations to maintain reasonable pricing. The dire warnings about the lessons of Smoot-Hawley follow a well-known script. Critics often invoke this historical precedent as a warning against tariffs, but by the time Smoot-Hawley was enacted, the U.S. economy was already grappling with the fallout of the 1929 stock market crash. Yep. And we already talked about Milton Friedman, that's monetary history of the United States, about the reduction of the restriction of the contraction of the monetary supply, 100%. Moreover, while Smoot-Hawley did raise duties on thousands of imported goods, mostly agriculture, its overall effect on U.S. imports was modest. According to an economist, Douglas Irwin, not familiar, the legislation likely reduced U.S. imports by only 1 or 2%. Interesting. The Great Depression was not followed by high prices. Yep, 100%. So check this out. The retaliation trade war myth. All right, so right here, many nations did not retaliate against Smoot-Hawley, and the tariffs that were implemented in supposed retaliation would have likely been enacted regardless. Yep. In Canada, the agricultural sector faced mounting challenges during the Great Depression, and Canadian policymakers were compelled to protect their farmers, leading to its imposition of tariffs on American goods. That would have happened even if Smoot-Hawley didn't pass. Similar to the UK. Facing high unemployment and declining industries, the British government was under significant pressure to support domestic production. Yep. Let's see. And so the rise of protectionist sentiment within the country meant that increased tariffs on import were a likely policy choice, regardless of what we did. France exhibited protectionist stance during this period. In Australia, the shift towards protectionism had already begun in the 1920s, with tariffs serving as a means to support local agriculture and manufacturing. The economic pressures of the Great Depression only intensified these efforts. Yep. The truth is, countries were reacting to their own economic crisis rather than solely responding to the U.S. trade policy. Yeah, 100%. The stakes extend far beyond mere historical comparisons. In an era where countries like China continue to exploit weaknesses in the global trading system, tariffs are not just a protective measure, they are a strategic necessity. America must embrace the tools at its disposal to safeguard its economic future. Could not agree more, dude. Don't list these crazy guys. You just say, well, if that was true, then why did we go into a Great Depression? Well, yeah, okay. So inherently, X does not cause Y. It just doesn't. Because if it did, it would have caused a Great Depression. Love your thoughts. Paw the like button. We'll see ya.